about the other, the other side, the coin. We mentioned fundraising, and let's talk about money generation in terms of revenues. What do you think the best ways to monetize content in the Middle East market? Do you think it's, advertisement? Do you think it's exclusive membership or anything else?
I think a lot of it depends on what the product is and what the service is and that type of thing. Even in the United States, almost anyone who ever pitches me anything consumer facing has got an ad model. The theory is if you make audience large enough, you'll be able to figure out some way to monetize it in the great cacophony that some great startups are trying to figure out how to get around, and all the different ad exchanges are trying to figure out how to get to it. We're in such early days of this, but I think at the essence of it, overall, and I'll turn to the Middle East in a second, but I think the essence of it overall is you can get a valuable proposition in front of the right person at the right time. So that person actually feels that your ad or marketing proposition, whatever, is really content. It really is an engagement that's valuable to them and not noise and annoyance. Something exciting is going to come with this capability to know people's behaviors and know what they want and give them relevant things over time. The challenge always has been how can you do massive specificity, massive targeting. It's always been kind of hard, and even Facebook and others who know more about me than I know about me still show me ads all the time, which drive me crazy. So it's still a process figuring out. The products are still figuring out, and this is true in the Western markets. But at the same time, if you look at the trajectory of the dollars, it just tells you that, of course, more and more people are there, and people will be creative in finding this out. Obviously, the Middle East is not as mature as an advertising proposition right now, but like everything else we've been talking about, it's changing. And what ends up happening here is what ended up happening in the United States, is all of a sudden some very courageous marketers are going to say, this is where my audiences are. I want to engage them. I'm really excited by it, and it's going to work, and I'm going to be involved in it. And then, I think that will come as a big part of it. In terms of what you can charge for, again, it goes back to my criteria of just building great product. If you have something that is just so fantastic that people want it and they can't afford not to have it, they'll pay you something for it. But I think the more important phenomenon, which has happened across the world, but I suspect is going to happen even faster in places like the Middle East, is I think that Apple has trained us to be very comfortable with the transactional payment. All of a sudden, we need to get an upgrade of one of our apps. It's another $1.99. We just don't think about it. And I think the ability to have that kind of flexibility and ease by which you can get access to content, either on a broader subscription basis or by the drink, the friction is becoming so low that if you add to that higher and higher trust, I'm very excited that there'll be other business models, whether they're here or elsewhere in the world.